Dude, we're in a new era of Windows being ass. The enshittification of everything has finally come for Windows. For the last... It might be my computer's fault, to be fair. But for the last 2 months, I restart my computer. About a day after restarting my computer, the search bar that you would use to find an executable is just non-functional. I can hit the Windows button, the start button in the bottom left. It will load most commonly used executables in a alphabetical order, but most of the time it just doesn't work at all. So now, in order, because I haven't booted up Game Capture, the Elgato software I use with my the hardware, since I played Clubhouse games, it's not in there. So I had to go to my desktop. And Windows D doesn't take you to the desktop anymore. We couldn't trust the end user with that kind of keyboard shortcut. So now I have to manually close every window, close them all, and then find the shortcut on my desktop for Elgato Game Capture HD. Like I'm literally like a 70-year-old learning how to use a computer at the senior center in 2004. It's insanity. What are your thoughts on the FDA coming out with a report that OTC Sudafed is no better than a placebo? I mean, I've never been a Sudafed Andy. I'll tell you why I'm not a Sudafed Andy, because by the time my ass was in a position to purchase cold medicine instead of just riding it out, I don't know if you've ever seen The Price is Right, but whenever they're like, food, you're like, $1.69, Bob. Whenever they're like, Zyrtec, you're like, okay, $150? Anyway, by the time I was in a position to purchase cold medicine to alleviate my cold symptoms, you couldn't buy Sudafed unless you were robbing a store. You could no longer go to... There's a weird, like, a pseudo over-the-counter. It's like Sudafed is over-the-counter, but it's not really over-the-counter. You have to go talk to somebody, and they look at you and decide whether you deserve to have it. It's like somewhere in between a prescription and not a prescription. A pharmacist basically just says, does this person look like they're going to use this to cook methamphetamine? So I don't think I've ever taken Sudafed. I know, like, this, maybe I'm going to get -2. This is one of those takes where I'm not sure if this is so much of an anarchist take that I'm going to get +2s or -2s or a little bit of both. But, like, people are still doing drugs. So, like, can I just buy my cold medicine? It's not like putting it behind the glass in the lockboxes really doesn't appear to have helped the problem that much. Would it be possible for me to go to the pharmacy at 11 p.m. when the pharmacist isn't working and actually buy the medicine that I know that I need that I'm not going to use to cook drugs? No. You can't have medicine, because if we just let anybody start buying Sudafed at 10 p.m. at the 24-hour pharmacy where somebody only works there for 6 hours a day, so people will start doing meth. Well, brother, it's just one problem there. It's the cutting off, it's the punishing all of society for like the very small subset of society not being able to handle it again. Your dog pooped on the elevator, and now all of a sudden we send out 1,000 emails that say, please don't let your dog poop on the elevator. Meanwhile, the dude whose dog pooped on the elevator doesn't even know how to read. You're punishing the many for the sins of the few. Yeah, I want to play some Heretics Fork today, too. We would have started with Heretics Fork today if it were not for the fact that F-Zero 99 came out. Oh, wait a minute. This is my old Wi-Fi. You idiot. You can't reach your old Wi-Fi from here. There we go. This is what we're looking for. Have you played the old F-Zero games? A little bit. I definitely played... Hang on. I mean, I'm doing my WPA-2 key from memory here, so you gotta cut me some slack. 1 second. It's just, I know how it feels when I enter the password. Where's the screen at? Yeah, I'm not about to show you my Wi-Fi network and then my Wi-Fi password. Trying to sniff my packets, you pervert. Driving around Vancouver with your phone Wi-Fi on, waiting until you see the fucking... You think I don't know that old trick? I played F-Zero, but it's not like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater thing where you're going to think that like I was an idiot when it comes to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and then when I played the remaster, I was sending out like 800,000 point combos. Again, not that incredible, but really, really good. Like F-Zero, I spent 2 weeks of a summer vacation in 8th grade playing the Game Boy Advance remake of F-Zero. And I beat it, but that was in a single player era of life, you know? That was before everything became online, and all of a sudden you realize that like being the best gamer in your postal code didn't mean anything. That being said, this is just me being honest. The average Nintendo Switch gamer is not very good compared to like the average PC gamer. So that gives me a little bit of a leg up on the ecosystem. The librarian, no, it's psychotic, by the way. That when I joined pre-chat today, you were talking shit about my Peloton output. I didn't even talk about my rides. You don't even ride. You just have an account. As soon as I finish my ride, you load it up parasocially, see how well I did, and then you're roasting me for it. I'm the man in the damn arena. I'm doing the 30-minute Sam Yo Hidden Hills. 6-minute warm-up. 3 minutes set your hill. 3 more minutes raise the maximum resistance. 7 minutes of getting breathless during hit, and then a 10-minute finisher. Your ass just clicking a button. Click. 12-minute Tabata section, WTF. DL Guiga, I'm just throwing this. It's not meant to be shade. I was actually on like limit break during the Tabata section. I probably do like 6 Tabata rides a month. Whenever they throw a Tabata section into a ride, I'm like, holy shit, 10 minutes of Tabata instead of 30 minutes? I'm in the damn zone. We fly to Mexico tomorrow? You guys gonna go smoke a blunt with those aliens? Did you see the tweet that was the picture of the alien? And it said, dousing this motherfucker with Powerade and watching him come back to life. And he's super chill. And then a couple of Latina scientists come and hang out with us while me and this bro play NBA 2K24. Oh, man. That was such a good tweet. /marker. F099. Can you believe it? For the 4th time ever, Nintendo has reworked one of its classic games in order to turn it into a battle royale, and I'm checking it out every time I get a chance. Now, this one is F-Zero. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's a racing game. It's the 4th one! Tetris 99, Pac-Man 256, or it was probably Pac-Man 99, 256 was the mobile game. Mario Brothers 35, and then F-Zero 99. Why are people are so cynical? You didn't even know the game existed until today, unless you follow that Pioro Leaks account on Twitter. It's fucking free, and people were like, it'll be dead in 2 months. It didn't even gestate yet, you weirdos. Stop caring so much about the games industry. Start playing with your toys. You guys have lost your damn mind. Oh no, this free game will be delisted in 3 months. Just fucking race, bozo. Get a life. Okay, I have to feel like you're probably not supposed to be playing the game in Wii Tennis mode, but we'll see. Mute City 1. Hopefully this is a tutorial. My controller is in Wii Tennis mode. Let's learn some basics. Tomo, you gotta get out of here. I'm losing my mind. Taking care of a sick kid last night. Woke up this morning, wife is sick. I'm holding the damn, I'm Spider-Man with the 2 webs shooting out to try to stop like the New York subway train from going off the platform. Help me. Let's learn some basics before your first F-Zero 99 race from other players around the world, okay? I'm not using this controller, so we have a problem. B is accelerate, okay? How does one steer? Steering end. Okay, I figured out the accelerator button, but I cannot steer. Perhaps you need me to use my other Joy-Con? Okay, I know that this is like a serious, embarrassing moment, but none of the buttons on my controller are steering. I exploded. Bro, how do I steer? How do I steer? None of the buttons steer, man. It's motion control. It's left stick on the other Joy-Con. Okay, you saved my life. Okay, thank you. I guess I should have thought about left stick, huh? I was on one Joy-Con mode though. I'll take the L on that one. That's embarrassing. Left stick makes perfect sense. You didn't use the stick? This is the one that's controlling the acceleration, okay? I didn't realize that I'd have to pick up little old red here in order to use the so I thought I was gonna be rocking this style, like the ideal controller for playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let me get a little wild goose going here. Vote for a track? I don't know. Everyone in chat says Big Blue's crazy. Let's go Big Blue. I'll settle for Sparks. Yo, everyone relax. There's enough space for everybody. Holy cow, man. Get me out of here. They're a lot more aggressive than the AI. Okay, this is pandemonium. This is insanity. I'm going up to the damn Skyway. Absolutely horrendous turn. Oh, no boost allowed. No boost allowed. I mean, considering I started pretty well, it's a little embarrassing where we are now, but yeah, take me up! Oh. You should probably hit some of the boost pads at some point, but still, it's so peaceful up there. I'm driving like a, I got a kill? I'm driving like a grandma up here. If you'll allow me to be ageist and maybe a little bit sexist at the same time. Well, I feel like it's not that sexist, because maybe the perception is grandmas drive slow, but if I said driving like a grandpa, I mean, that means like having overconfidence, but then one day getting your license taken away because you crashed your GMC Suburban into like the front window of a Radio Shack or something like that. So, you know, you gotta compare the apples to apples comparison here, the mathematical calculation. Okay, don't get blown up at the end just trying to steal a couple extra places. Oh, I'll take that. I mean, 23rd is not that amazing, but considering the chaos. Oh! It's a damn war zone out there. You're not wrong. Do you like poetry? Here we go. You like poetry? Poeting my balls in your mouth? Next to a tree? It just never ends with you, does it? You gotta do better next time? What the hell is this discourse? Chat on Twitter? Life has become too hard for the average person? Chat in a video game lobby with 99 of their peers? Don't ever consider me to be the average person. I'm exceptional. Doesn't make any damn sense. Wait, this is the game people were excited about? Not a remake of F-Zero GX or something? Nintendo fans be like, I hate Nintendo fans. Hello. You made a what? You made a friend? Oh, another daycare mom, I see. Decorated? Oh, I see. I thought you meant she was wearing like a Halloween costume or like a Christmas lights.
Here I am, like, dying, like, hunchback, looking like I haven't slept for a week, like a zombie, and like,
Yeah, you're kind of going through it right now, for sure.
I give her a number, and she's like, oh, I hope I don't come too strong. I'm like, oh. She not only she looks perfect, she mastered her social skill. Here I am being a little loser in my room.
You're putting the friendship on a pedestal. I mean, you had like a 5-minute conversation, and you're like, I'm just a little worm. She's better. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Here I was, just a little like, I'm a little nerd. And then she asked about my job or our job, and like, we work from home. And she said, "Oh, what do you do exactly, if you don't mind?"
Whoa, what do you do exactly?
Yeah, and I was like, "Whoa, she's going there," and I was like, "What I say?" And my mind all scrambled. And I said, "You're YouTubers," and she's like, oh, "No way! So you guys are like doing that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, you know, she said she wants to venture out into the YouTube world too." And then she's like, "So what's your handle?"
What does she do?
I don't know.
You didn't ask?
My social skill is...
That's like the follow-up question.
I don't have social skills. I got no friends.
You just
I just answer questions.
you echo the question that they ask you.
I'm frigged. I'm so frigged.
Otherwise, you end up with this information asymmetry.
I did not ask any question. When they asked my number, I gave her my number. I did not ask her number. I didn't even hear her name.
Well, you don't need.
I didn't have enough balls to ask what was your name again. But she had enough balls to ask my name again twice back to back.
No. You know what? Because maybe when they come to our daughter's birthday party.
She said she will come to my daughter's party.
I will.
Oh,
You're catastrophizing right now.
her name.
Well, you don't need to remember her name because when she comes to the party, I'll open the door.
You gotta be the door open.
Yeah, and then I'll be like, who the hell are you? Get off of my property. And then she'll be like, oh, I met your wife at the daycare. And I'll be like, oh, and what was your name? I will be like, you must be.
I said, I'm not that famous, but my husband is famous. I gave your handle and then Northern It's like, Northern Lion, I think I've heard that name somewhere.
No, they always say that. They always go, I'm pretty sure I've heard of you.
She knows.
And then I'm like, what kind of videos do you watch? And they're always like, you know, makeup tutorials. And I'm like, you haven't heard of me.
You even asked that question? I did not even ask that question.
I'm like pretty good at conversing.
Might as well put me in the jail.
It's alright, we can work on it together.
I'm wearing like the sweatpants. It was all dirtied up because of gardening. I was wearing this like the Disney cruise, the dirtied up, the coat. I'm like, I don't care, man. I feel like shit, so I'm just gonna wear like shit. And then the lady with the perfect eyebrow, perfect eyelash comes in and asks my number. And I go, oh, way to feel shit.
You're putting way too much emphasis on it.
Oh.
You gotta just take a deep breath, relax a little bit.
Maybe I should have been like, oh, I do NPC stream on TikTok. Ice cream so good.
You're putting too much emphasis on the first interaction. You can't. It's not sustainable. It's like going to the gym day one, doing like a 2-hour Peloton ride. You got to work your way up to it. A year, 30 minutes. Few months of 60 minutes. 6 months of 90 minutes. Then you start waking up at 5:20 and going up against Midwestern emo in every single ride.
But they say the first impression lasts forever.
Yeah, but I don't know who they is. Who's they?
If I knew I was gonna make a friend with now, like, if only I got a little lazy today and told Ryan to drop her off, it would have been so much better.
No, because I would have been stressed the fuck out. I would have been like, I'm already 45 minutes late for my stream, and now this lady wants to talk to me about YouTube. Like, I gotta do my job. I'm spending so much time talking about my job and spending no time doing my job.
Well, you're not wearing dirtied up pants and coats from
I don't think, if I'm being honest with you, I bet she didn't even notice. Not everyone is as judgmental as us. Most people, I think, just go through life and they're like, oh, I met a person today. And then they like go eat like a muffin or something.
So she knows my number, but I don't know her number.
Yeah, you don't need to know her number because she's going to text you.
Very one-sided, but I met a friend.
That's great. That's good news. You would think from the way you talked about it, it was that the worst thing in the world happened to you while you were away. But it's actually like one of the most positive things that could have conceivably come to pass.
The worst thing was happening in my brain, but then in real life it was a good thing.
Did mom texted me to freak back? It is. I'll also say having a conversation with other parents is like socialization on easy mode. First off, they have not talked to another adult seriously for like you know, since their child was born. What is this? She kisses me windy, bro. What is this, Matt? Secondly, you have automatic shared interests because you have a child that's like probably roughly around the same age, even if they're not the same age. If they're older, you can be like, I remember, or if they're younger, you'd be like, I remember what that phase was like. And if they're older, you're like, so what can we look forward to coming ahead? It's not like when, you know, you're in college or something and everybody's like 19 or 20, and then like everybody's hobbies are watching movies, but you gotta like pretend you're more interesting than that. I've never asked another parent, like, what are your hobbies? I know what your hobbies are. It's fucking making 2 grilled cheeses and then eating 1.5. It's the way of the world, man. That was just a horrendous use of the attempted spin attack. Okay, save your boost. You may crash out. This is now, it's in God's hands. Never mind, it's in my hands. Not a good finish, but we'll take it. If you spin someone who's flashing and KO them, you get a big HP boost. Hey NL, I'm gonna be that guy. Love your videos. Are you ever gonna play Summum Materna? Let me guess. Can you ask Summum if it's I turn to put my balls on your forehead, NL? Middle finger emoji? Yeah, okay. Here we go. Deathwind. Oh, you mean, what my wife experiences under the sheets after taco night? It's the worst joke. Oh. Yeah, there's no shot. I'm stoked that the new Frasier trailer dropped. I'm never gonna watch it. I'm done, okay? Until they make Frasier 2049, I'm so over this, like, hey, the 90s were 30 years ago. We're gonna bring back every show that you watched in the 90s because it just happened to be on one of the 4 channels you got on your TV. But this time we're gonna bring it back to try to sell you a monthly subscription to a service that otherwise you don't want. So, sorry, Kelsey Grammer. I don't think there's a single show that could do it. I mean, they all ended for a reason. Like, they were washed in 2002, okay? What makes me think that in 2023 they somehow found it again? Hello, gamers. Hello, Gil Online. Greatest first place of my life. I'm so ready for Deathwind. Beautiful performance thus far. You're burning way too much boost just to be out at the front. Just to what? Impress your parents? It's not necessary. Nice bump, brother. Nice bump. Stay in there. Try not to drive over the rough patches. 11th place. No Skyway juice yet, but that's okay. Watch out for rough patches. That sucks. That one's on me. But you know what? We're holding... Maybe it is important to use your boost early to get out to relative safety where you don't have to deal with so many threats, man. It's just a more chill experience up at the front. You brake check me? Am I going up against the world's strongest and smartest gamer? A deliberate brake check just seems like, if I'm being honest with you, it just seems kind of counterproductive for both of us. We have to drive defensively. Don't hit any bombs, please. Just hold. I'm content being passed as long as I live. Hold. Hold. Send it. Send it! Oh, we had a real chance there if I noticed we were there earlier. If I'd started using that burst a little earlier, we were in there. Oh. Wingus. Woo! Wait, Wingus? But it says Poponium one. Maybe I was misreading earlier. Still chilling. I'm happy in 36th with a good amount of boost. Hopefully you can try to pour it on a little bit on the final lap. And then, I'm trying to bump people into that corner like Donkey Kong throwing you into the side of Sector Z over and over. You know what I'm talking about. This guy knows what I'm talking about. Those were big bumps for me. Now, be afraid. Hey, you want to see a dead body? Oh, no. I was like, basically, I chose to push my chips all in thinking there was no way I died before the end. And then I died right before the end. But if I didn't die, I would have gotten such a push forward there. Somebody detonated on you? I give them respect for that. Probably need to turn down the graphics a bit because your face is a blur. It's F-Zero. There's no turning down the graphics. It's the Super Nintendo. Do you think there's a settings menu on the Nintendo Switch? No, everything looks like garbage. That's the selling point. Wasn't it on the original NES? DL Guiga, Midwestern Emo, 20s Chicago. Leave the retro gaming to the 30-year-olds, okay? This is a SNES Marty. Can you lower the bitrate to what it would have looked like in the era of the SNES? I don't know what you want from me. The game looks like the Super Nintendo version. I'm telling you, I mean, my eyes are worse, so maybe the game looks better. But this is what F-Zero looked like, man. It always looked like garbage. Boo, boo. It's true, pixel art did look better on CRT monitors. You'd be like, what the hell? This game doesn't look the same on Z-SNES as it did when I was 8 years old eating Dunkaroos. Grand Prix! Test your mettle in the Ultimate 5-Race Series. Is that 3-ticket? 3-ticket Andes? Holy cow, it's the fastest lobby I've ever seen in my life. Top 80 advance. Okay, just note to self, survive. Don't worry about coming in the top half on the first race. Just live through race 1 so you can see more tracks. Good bumping, good bumping. Stay here so we can bump them on the pit. Into the corner. Oh, I don't think we got any good corner shots there. It's okay. We just hang. You know, I'm on like full HP. This is insane. Great stuff. Use your Skyway to get yourself out of a jam. Almost all of our HP has been recovered. 11th place, and we just ruined somebody's life. Little speed boost. Just a little one. That felt advisable. I meant to hit that, but don't cut first, cut second this time. So I know I'm live narrating everything that I'm doing. It's called a Let's Play, sweetheart. Thought I might get you in the corner. Now we're relaxed. Everybody up here in the top 10, just chill. I'm not even using any boost to get through. I'm taking the circuitous route because I know I've secured my position in the next race as long as I don't screw it up by being a fool. I've screwed it up by being a fool. Go, go! Okay. Look, we screwed it up a little at the end. If you had asked me, would I be happy coming in 33rd at the start of the race, I would have said yes, absolutely. I'm so ready. And then, into the wall. Didn't get anybody on NL corner. That's life. That's life. Now we begin our feeling out period. We drive over the rough patch, unfortunately. That's okay. Middle of the pack. It's where I've been my whole life. Think I'm sweating that? 33rd. Okay. Oh, I saw some opportunity there. Hang on. Lots of people getting KO'd. NL corner. I heard KO, which to me means I got a KO. Tell me I'm wrong. Save boost for the end when you know you're safe. It's probably not a good strategy for coming in first, but might be a good strategy for not fucking dying. Take me to the Skyway, bro. I mean, we're qualifying. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. 13th? Uh-oh. Very clutch Skyway. Where are my rivals? Too late. Holy cow, that's a lot of points, baby. Oh, ooh, 22nd overall. All right, just remember, stay on target, stay on target. Tomo, get out of here, buddy. You don't want to be here, okay? We're on Sand Ocean. Sand Ocean, my balls? Kate, it doesn't even make any sense. You should say S and O Sean my dick or something like that. That would make sense. Suck and orgasm was what that was my intention with that. Okay, missing the boost. We hate to see that. We're relaxing and we're chilling. We're not spending boost in almost any circumstance here. I hate to hit a bomb. That's unfortunate. There's haters everywhere in this world. Everybody relax. We have no choice. We have to play conservatively. I do hear lots of people exploding. If they're exploding in front of me, it's hard to tell on the Dolby 5.1 surround sound. If they're exploding in front of me, we're not sweating it too much. If they're exploding behind me, it doesn't affect us in a positive way. Remember, you got to be top 40 here. You got to be Rick D's, which means we need some of that. We live to fight another day. Okay, that was a tough race. We ended up finishing pretty clean. Oh! There's a little strategy involved in this, man. At least at my level of mediocrity. Not feeling too bad. Dude, we're gonna get so... Oh, look at my rivals, dude. They all got badges and stuff. Top 20 advanced. I'm scared of this one. The Death Wind with 20 gamers. Well, 40 gamers, but 20 advanced. I'm trying to get you, bro. Whoa! That dude didn't die? 17th, half HP, no Skyway. One must consider using a boost in these situations. Sorry about that, didn't mean to bump you. 14th. Whiffed on the spin attack. We got to be getting close to the end, though. They're gone. I'm in. Oh, let's go! Oh! Oh! Oh my God! I'm not cut out for these rivals, man. 14th place out of a starting 99. One race remains. I'm about to risk it all. I've never seen this track before. Okay, all the corners are 90 degrees. We follow the leader on this one. That's a rough one. Still feel it okay. Squeeb. Okay, some speed, please. Oh, these are tight ass laps, bro. Okay, this is the final lap. You gotta give it your all. I honestly, I risked it all. I thought we were about to eliminate that guy and get a huge HP buff. It's illegal for you to blame me. I'm smoldering. Goodbye. It's on a straightaway. Oh, still, I'm honestly pretty happy. Oh, that was a good qualifier. You know, we came 16th out of 99 in a marathon context. No points for the final. Kind of sucks though. Better luck next time. But I did pretty well. Don't I get like a bunch of stuff for that? There's stuff you just went by it too fast. You gained the full level? I don't want a level. I want to win back the tickets that I spent. Who gets a bunch of stuff for finishing 16th? 16th out of 99? I don't know. Like every professional racer, golfer, etc., etc. Almost, I mean, 16th out of 99 of your graduating class, that probably gives you at least like a $250 scholarship to the campus bookstore at least. The 8-year-old in me is hating these turns. Honestly, no disrespect. If we put you at my age up against you at age 8, I'd rinse your ass, no doubt. You don't even realize that you thought you were so good at F-Zero at age 8. You were playing against like 7 deliberately bad AI. Let me guess, you had a 100% win rate in every race you ever did in F-Zero? That's not what they said. They said they're tilting their body in real life? Well, I took that personally. I could only beat the AI on the first level. They got too hard after that. I'm opening your user profile, and I'm keeping you on perma-audit. Because if you ever backseat after saying some fucked up shit like that, oh, it's... I got a lot of resentment built up here, just waiting to be released. I've seen you ask it like 20 times, okay? I don't know the answer to this. Is it better to eat a BLT than a ham sandwich? I don't know. I would say follow your heart on that one. Probably? I don't know, man. I don't want to get in the online habit of saying probably when the answer is I don't know. I think that's how we get ourselves into trouble in this world. Chatters needing help in the subway line. I'm just being honest with you. If you're homebrewing a BLT at Subway, you've lost your way. Some people might add bacon to their sandwich, but that is not the kind of bacon you want if you're having a BLT. Like that's a sad story. That like floppy microwaved bacon that they have. If you're at Subway, first off, it's a false dilemma. A, you shouldn't be at Subway, but you probably already knew that. B, your ass should not be getting a ham sandwich or a BLT at Subway. I can't believe I KO'd somebody. I wasn't even doing anything. Okay, we don't want to die with boost in our pocket. We just ruined somebody's day. Oh! I ruined that guy's day too. He might still be chilling, but his day is in a rough spot. Greed. The greed knows no bounds. No more, no more! Do me a favor, hit some shit. I can't meet you there, but I gotta try. No! Listen, that's like taking a sloth in Super Auto Pets. Even if there's like a 95% chance it ruins you, if you're in second, you gotta try for that first. I'm not, listen, if I was in 10th on the final lap and then I came in second, I would be like, great race. If I'm in second going into the final turn, I'm pushing my chips all in. Top 10 locations to play backgammon in Vancouver? Honestly, I have no idea. I hesitate to bring this up because I know that it's video essay pilled. One of the video essay topics, this has got to be like a 1 in 100 chance. We're starting at the far side. This is like a 1 in 49 chance, 0.5. I do resonate with that idea that there has been in the world cities, or especially in North America, which is I guess all I can really comment on, there's a dearth of third places. You know, you have work, you have your place of residence, but then like places where you can just go and hang out. Even when I was a kid, you know, there were locally owned bars and restaurants and little cafes and stuff where my parents would go and spend some time. Go to the mall or something like that, go to parks, go to the library, and like some of that stuff is still around. For sure. But it kind of feels like the new third place is like, guess what? It's Boston Pizza. Every Wednesday we go to Boston Pizza, we get the pierogi pizza. Like, how did we let Jim Treliving worm his way into our lives to that ridiculous extent? It's a little different. Like, now that I got a kid, I got lots of third places. Go to the community center sometimes, playgrounds, libraries, parks. It seems like there's not many, oh, thank God. It seems like there's not that many hangouts. There used to be proper hangouts. We used to be a proper country. Now there's just like Denny's. There's no place where like an old Italian man who smelled way too much like mouthwash and wore like the same dirty stained apron every day would be like, I hate you kids, get out of my store. And then the next day he'd be like, I love you kids, come into my store. How did we lose this? Whoops. Sheesh. Oh, man. You know what I love about F-Zero? In this game, you die like an X-Wing pilot. Like, you never are just like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm dead. Like, every single one is you're like, I'm gonna take this turn, and then, oh! You know, like the... just fire engulfs your head. Pikmin said they were in chat. Hey, Pikmin, maybe learn how to do the super boost. The millennial boost, as we call it. Guess they didn't teach that one in Gen Z school. No, our public schools were constantly defunded at the whims of local voters. Okay, whatever. And then COVID hit, and we had the, all right, okay, everybody's got a hard life. Listen, it's F-Zero, buddy. Can you keep your politics out of F-Zero, please? It's a dystopian version of F1 where only the super elite are allowed to breathe oxygen, okay? There's nothing political about it. Captain Falcon is just a really strong, cool dude, okay? Bad. Probably shouldn't have committed to a boost there. And then missed a boost. You know what? Just chill. It's a long race. You don't have to have it all figured out immediately. By the way, librarian, I need you to go back in time and find the person who said, if you spin attack into a gray guy, it's an instant KO. So I have put that theory to the test, and it turns out that was a damn lie. This has a badge which indicates they might have won a game. Completely flanked by them. White land. No comment. You can make your own jokes. Oh, man. What was the hardest thing you had to learn in the last 4 years? I don't know if this is, like, depressing. First off, that's a very thought-provoking question. Hardest thing I've had to learn in the last 4 years. Definitely, I think the gradual increase of difficulty in parenting, at least on my end, is something... I think the lesson I've learned from that is you can always do more. And I know that sounds, like, messed up. What I mean to say is, you know, when my daughter was a newborn, for me, is very little hands-on work, because I don't lactate, which will probably surprise you, but it's the honest-to-goodness truth. Still, you're getting limited sleep, don't get me wrong, and you're doing what you can to support, you know, your partner in that situation. But you still got a reasonable amount of free time. But ever since the walking and the talking and a much more, like, equitable share of parental duties, it's been like a gradual... Sorry. A gradual increase in doing stuff. And there were definitely times where, like, you know, maybe she's 1.5. And I'm like, oh, I looked after her for like 7 hours today. That's a lot. You know what your reward is? Next day, you're running it back. You're doing 7.5. And there's times on the weekend now where I'm basically doing like 12. And rather than look at it as like, oh, well, like, I guess I've reached a point where rather than be like, oh, I just gotta, you know, enjoy this time as much as I can, you know, make it fulfilling for both of us. But, like, if there's a break coming, there is no cavalry coming, brother. I have learned to accept... I'm like and I enjoy fatherhood, don't get me wrong. But I think I have also become one of those prisoners who is like, they're resigned to life in the cell. And I'm like, at least I can get some good reading done. You know what I mean? I'm solo with my 18-month-old for the next 5 days. I feel this. In a way, I was talking to some of the other daycare dads at our old daycare about this. It was about when Kate was away in Korea. And he was like, how are you doing by yourself? And we agreed I'm going to die. And I almost did die because of the norovirus. But we agreed that it's actually, in a way, it's almost easier when you're by yourself, because on a mental level, you're like, I just got to get through this. Like, nobody's coming to save me. If you're always waiting for Superman to come in and save you, for mom to come in and give you a break so you can, you know, eat like a ham and cheese wrap or something like that, you know, it's cope. Instead, when you're on your own, you're like, it's me. I'm the guy. Just got to make it till the weekend. No, you got it backwards. Sometimes by the end of Sunday night, I'm like, when I've done improv Toy Story for like 3 hours straight, I'm like, I just got to make it till Monday. And then on Monday, you go like, wake up at 5:20, 2 hours of bike riding, take a shower, eat breakfast, 15 minutes late, rushing to help with as much as I can to get the kid ready for the morning, come 15 minutes late. Someone needs to come into our house and drop 17 rugs off and install a shelf, miss 45 minutes of stream, flat tire. Oh, she threw up, she can't go to daycare today. It is like, come on, man, I just want to play F-Zero for like an hour and a half. Anyway, I'm going to slash marker for now. I'm going to get some more water. Slash marker, F-Zero. Sorry, I was eating some saltines. Let's play some Heretics Fork. Thanks for keeping the mic muted. You're welcome.
Gross. Dude, it fucking kills. I'm Steve-O, and this is the listening to someone eating into the microphone challenge. Bro, it's fucking gross, dude. Fucking quit it. Bro, it makes you want to throw up, dude. It fucking kills, bro. Dude, it fucking kills.
Sorry, I'm still working on it. Where is it? Where is it? Somewhere in here. Steve-O impression killed 600 viewers in a single swoop. It's crazy how much you care about how many viewers I have. First off, you got bin dust out here. Why are you taking a piss? You have 8,000 viewers? Because I have 2 functioning kidneys. And I consume water. Like, you let me worry about my viewership. I'll tell you, you just guaranteed that there's no Shaw Armored Core 6s ever coming back. That's a given. Can I get a couple Jake S's for that, please? Heretics Fork. Thank you, thank you. A week ago, you said I'm definitely beating Armored Core 6 in a Boston accent. You should know by now, you should never trust anything anybody says in a Boston accent. Have you ever heard Mark Wahlberg talk? The dude says he would have stopped 9/11 by being a passenger on the airplane. Doesn't make any damn sense. Hey, do you think Marvel Snap will ever come back? Listen, I'm not trying to get many non-targets killed. The last 10 minutes of F-Zero, someone said, what's the hardest lesson you've had to learn in the last 4 years? Okay? I gave him a story about how no matter how much you're doing, people will always ask you to do more. And part of, you know, being a responsible adult is recognizing that you can shoulder that load. Sometimes you got to work up to it. I compare myself to a prisoner who's accepted being in the joint. I almost don't have a self anymore. I don't have any hobbies except riding the exercise bike. And whenever I get like an hour of free time, I spend 15 minutes being like, what should I do with my free time? And then I just go back upstairs and go, you know, I should probably like, you know, just do dad stuff because I don't know what else to even do anymore. I forgot about the rest of like who me is. And then people were like, the first message I saw in the middle of the rant was like, would you think you'd ever play chess again? You know, this website is insane, man. You'll like drop your soul in Twitch chat and people will be like, nice answer, bozo. By the way, are you ever going to play Teamfight Tactics? You're like, what is wrong with you? You've lost your mind. It's very funny, but they don't know that it's funny, which is the problem. Now that they think it's funny, they're going to repeat it like all the time, and then it's really going to get annoying. So I hope you're enjoying the peak of the bit while it lasts. Ever consider therapy? Bro, why do you think I got a hard stop at 2 p.m.? Scribbling in a damn moleskin. My therapist, why do you think you're a little sensitive to criticism? Well, I spend 5 hours a day getting yelled at by like anonymous people online who give me money to bully me. She's like, whoa, that's fucked up. Holy shit. Should we dig into that a little bit more? You gonna play Silk Song when it never comes out? I was thinking about it in the shower this morning, and I swear to you that it's true. It must kind of suck to be Team Cherry Games in a certain way, at least. You know, people who say like, "Oh, your game was like super successful. It's revered as one of the best games, maybe even of all time." I was gonna say indie games, but it might be like best games of all time. But the game, the original Hollow Knight, has become like such a. It's like an uncriticizable piece of media that the amount of pressure for the follow-up is extraordinary. No wonder it's taken forever to come out, because they can't come out with a game that's an 8 out of 10. People will be like, you know, it'll be like what happened with subset games where FTL is like an 11 out of 10 and then Into the Breach is merely a 10. People are like, wow, they really talk about a sophomore slump. So they got to make sure that it's like absolutely perfect. But then I was thinking, you know, like in music, there's comparisons. Like, you know, My Bloody Valentine came out with Loveless, and then they teased the follow-up to Loveless like 2 years later, and this shit did not come out until like 2013 or something like that. But then when it came out, it was really well liked. People were like, it's maybe not on the same level of Loveless, but it's a classic of the shoegaze genre nonetheless. So I was thinking, there's hope, man. Is that an answer to the question? It was an answer to a better question. Question is always like, what's better, Hollow Knight or Ori and the Blind Forest? And I'm like, I'm not about that. I wanna get to the nugget, man. I wanna feel like Team Cherry feels. I got some Holy Wind for you. I think Holy Wind, the nicest thing I'll say about Subway is when I think about Holy Wind is what I imagine Subway bread smells like. I'm never mad about smelling Subway bread. Subway's got to be the restaurant. I think Subway and Pizza Hut have to be the restaurants that smell the best but taste the worst. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me there's a better example. I haven't eaten a Subway in like 4 months, and I'm not going back. There's simply no reason to. It's too expensive for the food, which is not very good to begin with. But the restaurant does smell very good. You talk a lot about Subway for a guy who says he doesn't go there. I talk for like, you know, 4.5 hours a day. Most people utter like 8 words. I'm leaving, love you, honey. Then they like don't talk for like 7 hours. And then they come home and they say, I'm back, love you, honey. And then they put on Netflix, and then, you know, 4 hours later, they're like, good night, honey, I love you. Nobody ever replies back because they're talking to a life-sized Asuka body pillow from Neon Genesis Evangelion. But I'm just saying, gotta remember, like, sometimes people get annoyed at the material we're talking about here. I'm spinning a yarn out of thin air, right? Like, I don't do anything. So I'm pretty impressed that, like, you know, on occasion we can get 4.5 hours of stream of consciousness dialogue. Sometimes we do circle back on some old favorites, but these are also in responses to questions that you're asking me. So if you want better answers, ask better questions. And if you're like, you never read my questions, they're probably not better than the Subway question, unfortunately. I hate to be the one to tell you. Thoughts on parents forcing their children into acting or singing, trying to get them to be successful, then stealing their money and their childhood? What do you want me to say, brother? I'm for it? I don't know where you want. I don't know what I could do for you in that situation. Obviously, I'm against it, okay? People be like, thoughts on CO2 emissions? I'm against it, okay? Even to be honest, like, sometimes necessity bears it. I don't really like when, you know, my daughter is at home and then she comes down into, she's 2.5, I'm not really blaming her. But she comes down, like, into my office and then is, like, on camera. Because I'm like, she's choosing to put herself out there, but she doesn't know that she's choosing to put herself out there. You know what I mean? I get, like, I've seen YouTube family vlogging stuff. And I know there's that American lady who, she had like 8 kids. And, sorry, it's not funny. But what are the kids like? ran into their neighbor's house with duct tape on his legs and was like, my mom's keeping me prisoner.
I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
This is Ruby Frankie, the mom of 6 behind the popular parenting YouTube channel 8 Passengers. On August 30th, Frankie and her business partner Jody Hildebrandt were arrested after Frankie's 12-year-old son climbed out of a window of Hildebrandt's home to ask neighbors for food and water. The neighbors immediately called authorities after seeing that the malnourished boy had open wounds and duct tape around his wrists and ankles.
And her YouTube channel, all the clips that they show about it on the news, she's always like, having a family brings such joy into our lives. I'm like, I don't listen to me, okay? I recognize I'm getting on my soapbox here. As a parent myself is probably the most important thing I'll ever do in my life. But whenever I hear like another parent say something like my heart feels so full every time I spend time with my 6 kids, I'm like, you're crazy. You're signaling, okay? You're putting on airs. Because there's days where you're like, we had a really fun day. That was great. And then there's days where, you know, I have to imagine, especially with 6 kids, like I have 1 kid and then, you know, sometimes I'm like, you don't have to poop, do you? And she's like, no. And then like 2 seconds later, she walks and she's like, "Urgh." And I'm like, oh, really? You could have just said yes. I would have picked you up and carried you to the toilet. Now I got to pull your pants down and you got poop all in your underwear and then all on your pants and then it gets all over your butt and legs when I take your pants off. We got to do like all the laundry from this, which means we got to move all the stuff from the dryer out so the stuff in the washer can go into the dryer, which means the stuff, dirty stuff can go into the washer. And I got to put you in the bed and I got to, like that's, whenever somebody's like, it's hard, but it's worth it. I'm like, okay, you're speaking my language. Whenever somebody's like, you know, every day is a gift from the Lord above. I'm like, what are you hiding? Something's not right. Now, I'm not saying everybody who's ever said that also imprisons their own children in their house. Like that is probably like a one-off or a relatively rare situation, I'm hoping at the very least. I'm just saying I'm a little sus that you're telling the honest to goodness truth when you say that. So anyway, what was the question? Oh, so I don't resonate with like the family vlog stuff. Even the family vloggers who seem like normal people, I'm not saying they're bad people for doing this, but for me it just rubs me the wrong way to like put so much of your kid's life on the internet like that because your kid doesn't have a choice in the matter. I guess the catch-22 is there would be no family vlog content if you waited for the kids to be old enough that they could actually like consent to being in the content, but that's the price I'm willing to pay. Also, and you know, don't get me wrong, a lot of them got the bag, but I do also feel like there's a weird dynamic when like your cute toddler is paying the bills for your whole family. What happens when your kid is like old enough to know that they have leverage over you and they're like, you know, I don't want to record today. I don't want to record today. And you're like, Daddy quit his job. Daddy quit his engineering job so we can do this full time. Daddy quit his engineering job. We got to record today. We got to record today. We got that sponsor deal for Mattel. We got to come on. We got to go. That's why you don't hire 8-year-olds, bro. They're not reliable. They're still working out their emotions. How many vases do you plan to put on the shelf? I'm here to tell you, I've gone off on Silicon Valley, okay? And like how I don't understand, like in my personal opinion, the divide between like what work they do in the world and how they see themselves, like the gap between that is so crazy. Like you would think that they are like life-saving emergency cardiac surgeons, the way they talk about like their values and stuff and how they find purpose in their life on social media. And then, you know, you're like, what are you making, bro? And they're like, I made the fucking one of the middleware pieces that Uber Eats uses to find you a driver. And you're like, really? That being said, sorry, I just had to cool it off for a second there. I blew off a little steam. That being said, I think there is room for disruption in an industry. And I know that you can already buy flowers online, but we need like actually I'm trying to think of the right, we need like a Chipotle for flowers, okay? So I got all these vases. I don't know what flowers to put in it. I know you're going to say buy stuff that looks pretty. No, it doesn't work like that because 90% of plants out there will kill your pet if they eat them, and the other 10% will kill them if they smell them. So every time I go into a flower store to try to like figure out what I'm going to put in these vases, I'm like Googling like, phytorhododendron to see if it's pet friendly. And then the thing that'll drive you crazy is that half of the plants in the store don't have the name of the plant on it. They just have the price tag. So I'm looking like some of them, I'm like, okay, on this, it says what the name of the plant is. This is lavender. Google it. Yes, it will kill your pet. Okay, I'm not going to get that. Whoa, this looks pretty. What is it? And you pick it up, and the bucket that it's in has no label. The barcode has no label on it or anything. You're like, they're completely invalidated, man. They're anonymous. Ask the person in front. Like, listen, you're going to think this is a made-up story. I swear to you it's not. One year for Kate's birthday, I got her flowers. I went to the flower shop. I said, I need flowers for my wife. It's her birthday. But I need to make sure they're pet friendly because we have 2 cats who will like eat anything. He said, oh, what about this bouquet? And I said, is it pet friendly? And he said, yeah, no problem. I get home. I'm like, what are these flowers? There's a couple lilies in here. Then I Google lilies. Oh, literally, like, this is the most deadly plant that you could possibly have in your house if you have cats. It, like, if they are in the same room as a lily, it will like turn their kidneys into pure stone. So like I literally asked the florist, and the dude was like, yeah, send it, brother. Like you're putting a lot of faith in a stranger. Now they should be competent, but I wasn't the one who was there during the hiring process. So how do I know, you know? The florist isn't a vet, why would they know? I mean, I feel like it's just a common question for a florist is like, will this kill my dog or my cat? So what I'm really thinking is like, I do think the industry is ripe for disruption. I'm a normal guy. It's hard for me. It's intimidating to go into like a flower shop. Because I'm like, I don't know what any of these things are unless they're roses or tulips. And then like very few of them are labeled and 85% of them are poison. I think there's a lot of people saying like, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? I hope you don't work in the flower business because Chipotle flowers is coming for your ass. Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, again, I say this without judgment. I'm just making a joke. But like 90% of people in my generation chose to have a dog instead of kids. Surely there's got to be like a class action lawsuit against 1-800-Flowers or something like that coming up that's going to revolutionize the industry. Need like a 100% pet-friendly flower shop, man. I inherited a huge fern from my friend that he paid like $200 for because his cat started chewing on it and then he found out it's toxic to cats. Listen, if you don't know, I'm just going to tell you, those fuckers are toxic to everything. Or everything is toxic to them, I should say. You know, I owe a friend of mine a great debt of gratitude. For a while, Kate was using like an essential oil diffuser in order to make nice smells. It wasn't to heal us. We weren't combining it with crystals in order to, you know, increase the power of our 7th chakra or anything like that. It was just to have nice smells. I told my friend one day, and he was like, oh yeah, we used to have a diffuser, but it turns out like all of the essential oils being diffused is incredibly toxic to cats. And I was like, what? And then I looked it up. Yeah, turns out you're basically spitting out like toxic gas. Your pets are like sleeping in your room going like, poison. Like it's just, you gotta Google a lot of this stuff, that's for sure. Which circle of hell would you want to be in? I think the swamp with all the philosophers Dante didn't vibe with might be okay. I'm not that familiar with the Divine Comedy. But it's funny, right? Isn't like they're like the first circle of hell is for like shoplifters, and the second circle of hell is for murderers, and then they're like the third circle of hell is for people that use their right hand with the knife to cut the steak, and then they put the knife down and they move the fork from their left hand to their right hand to eat the steak. It's the kind of shit that would like send a chill down your spine. It's not like that at all. Okay. But wouldn't it be funny if it was? You gotta admit, if it was like that, that'd be pretty funny. You'd be like, Dante, what are you talking about? Have you not beat the game yet? Condescending ass question. I beat the game on the 5th time we played it. With Chad's help, of course. Hang on, I gotta go look at my Chat.exe? Sorry to pull you into my madness again, but I found something else. It's a chat room full of people. I don't understand what its purpose is. Who are these people? Disconnecting Bible thump. Free egg, not a scam. Mark as read. Hang on. Egg.exe.
I work so hard here.
True, true.
I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this project.
You're a rock star.
I work so hard to get things in on time, but I can't do that if you and Mackenzie hoard the file assets and don't release them to me to put into the present.
It's not clickable. It's not clickable. Is Damon Tools? Favorite person named Mark? Twain? I had to think for a while. Hamill? Listen, I got nothing against Mark Hamill. Oh, another blue divine light. Well, well, well. Well, what's the but? The but is that, like, when it comes to Mark Hamill, if you said you got to take him or leave him, I would take him, but it wouldn't be like by much. I got nothing for him. I got even less against him. His VA work goes crazy. Are we talking about voiceover or veteran affairs? Virginia. His Virginia work? Meet Virginia? I think that's train. Let me hand it to you. 100% of the drops of Jupiter you meet are a snake. I'm going crazy mode. Frankie fast hands in a thin deck. Tower attack speed by 20% up persistently. We don't even see enemies anymore. She doesn't own a dress. Her hair is always a mess. What is... She wears high heels when she exercises. She is beautiful. I fucking hate Train. I'm sorry. I know we've been through this before. So the worst lyrics I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, how do you end up writing this in a song? Breaking the fourth wall in a song like Meet Virginia? She smokes a pack a day. Wait, that's me, but anyway. I know exercising in high heels just doesn't make sense. Like, is she wearing high heels all the time? So that, like, when she exercises, she just happens to have them on? Or is she putting on high heels to go on the treadmill? Because, like, just being honest, you probably don't need me to say this, but that's just stupid. Like, this is just a person that, like, needs someone else's help to get through life. But can you imagine no love, pride, deep fried chicken? Your best friend's always sticking up for you. Even when he goes so soulful, even when I know you're wrong. How was your Le Burger week? Okay, I need your help on this one. Because I've gotten to the point where, like, I'm looking for stuff to do with my kid on the weekend, right? So, I Google, like, every Friday, I Google things to do in Vancouver this weekend. I think it was last weekend. Go to your favorite burger joint for Vancouver's Le Burger Week. And it was just one of those things where I was a little bit confused. Because I was like, it's not like a French-Canadian city. And Vancouver's not even really like much of a burger city. But I was reading all this stuff about Le Burger Week. So I'm glad you asked me. I did not have a burger last week. I did not go to my favorite haunt for Le Burger Week. But did you enjoy any burgers from Le Burger Week? If you did, more power to you. I just don't know why it's called Le Burger Week. Oh, I didn't mean to play it. I need to normalize pressing right click. It's because it started in Montreal. Well, Kentucky Fried Chicken started in Kentucky, but in Montreal they still call it Poulet Frite de Kentucky. So make it make sense, Quebec. What's up with the double standard? KFC actually started in Indiana? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Is it like a Boston pizza thing where they called it Kentucky Fried Chicken because it sounds like more authentic? No, it's actually from Kentucky. You've been lied to. Forget asking for sources. I'm about to start believing people. Colonel Sanders was born in Indiana. The plot thickens. What is Boston Pizza? It's a chain sports bar started by a man in British Columbia called Boston Pizza because apparently, if you're Canadian, you're just so you get your eyes light up as soon as somebody thinks that a restaurant's American. Holy cow. Me, when I'm at the Cataraqui Town Center and I got a choice between New York fries, Manchu Wok, Via Tavere Pizza, Jimmy the Greek, Boston Pizza. It's just a carnival of international foods in there, all made in the microwave. They have a Thai Express now. I forgot about Thai Express. I will say I went to Taco Time once at the Pacific Center food court, and I was actually like I wouldn't say there's good Mexican food, but for a mall, I was like, it could be a lot worse. Why don't any Canadian chains make it to the rest of the world? Are they that bad? I would say yes and no. I mean, like, it's not surprising to me that Swiss Chalet hasn't exactly made it to international expansion. I'm trying to think of some Canadian chains that have gone loco mode. A&W? I don't know the exact history of A&W, but I believe A&W, I feel like it started in America, expanded to Canada, and then they split the operations. Because Canadian A&W, as we've talked about myriad times, Canadian A&W is really good. Pita Pit! Yeah, I forgot! Pita Pit might have made it to other parts of the world, right? It did. Pita Pit is like, it's not just a better Subway. Pita Pit is like a much better Subway. Our Pita Pit closed down? What the hell? Booster Juice? Booster Juice Canadian? I always forget whether it's Booster or Jamba or Jugo. I'm very pro Pita Pit for sure. It's like my parents' favorite restaurant. Tim Hortons is definitely horrible though. The Keg? Is the Keg in the United States too? I've only been to the Keg a couple of times. I've always enjoyed it. The smarmy Vancouverite in me wants to be like, I would never go to a chain steakhouse, but anytime like a family member has been like, I'd like a steak, can we go to the Keg? And I've gone there, I've been like, this place is actually pretty good. I mean, fast food is one thing, because you're like, you know, whatever. Like when I go to Wendy's, it's not like I'm like expecting the Wendy's to be good. I'm like expecting the Wendy's to taste like Wendy's. But if you pay like, you know, steakhouse prices, you're kind of looking for something a little appetizing. What's the most international chain? I don't have an answer for you, but one of the things that's really funny is going to another country and seeing what chain restaurants from North America like made it there. Like when I lived in South Korea, they had a Bennigan's and an Outback Steakhouse that people went crazy for. And then like anytime I go to Japan, I'm always like, what? I honestly thought that Shakey's Pizza was something that was made up by South Park. You don't see them everywhere, but you see them like often enough to be like, really? Shakey's Pizza? TGI Fridays? The only place I've ever eaten at a TGI Fridays was in Osaka. I mean, I've talked a lot of smack about Outback Steakhouse. I feel like I gotta reel it in. I've only eaten at 2 Outback Steakhouses in my life. One was the Orlando airport and one was in Daegu, South Korea. So I don't know, maybe in Sydney, like it hits different, but it may actually be my least favorite restaurant in the world based on the very limited experience I've had with it so far. Did the one in Daegu have a bloomin' onion? Yeah, but we didn't get it because it was just like 3 of us, and we were like, that's just too many calories for 3 people to eat here. But then, like, I think I had a hamburger or something. Like, I don't know if I'm getting the right thing at Outback Steakhouse to actually judge Outback Steakhouse. I had a hamburger the first time, and then 13 years later, I had a Caesar salad. So maybe I should keep Outback's name out of my freaking mouth. I haven't even had the Australian steak. I haven't had the shrimp on the Barbie burger yet. I don't even know what they sell, honestly. I had a bloomin' onion at the airport one, but I'm not saying that the airport, or I'm not saying all Outback Steakhouses are as bad as the one at the Orlando airport, but the bloomin' onion at the Orlando airport sucked ass. Why is the food at the Vancouver airport so ass? I mean, I'm not going to defend the Vancouver airport, but it depends on the section that you're in, okay? I think the Vancouver airport, I think it's really good by Canadian airport standards. You know, people aren't going there to eat, they're going there to fly. That being said, anytime I go to the Vancouver airport, which is often, is like every time I fly, I'm like, why the fuck are the good food options before security? If I were designing an airport, and maybe there's a difference of opinion here, I feel like I would like to have the best food options past security, because of the fact that when you arrive to the airport, you're kind of in a rush. You want to get through security, get your bags checked, and then find your gate, and then be like, okay, I have 2.5 hours to kill. Let me get something to eat. So I always get annoyed when, like, before going through security, there's a Sally Lemon, there's like a salmon and bannock. Like, these are Vancouver staples to some extent, at least. And then, like, once you get past security, it's literally just like Tim Hortons, an instant pho place, and then Canucks Bar and Grill, like, which is not good. It's probably the best amongst them, but I always want to eat after going through security. It's not even, I've never missed a flight. I always get to the airport too early, which is not virtuous. I end up wasting a lot of time. But, like, even still, like, I would never budget my time to be like, oh, I'm gonna give myself enough time to get a burrito before I go through security. Because, like, what if absolutely everything goes wrong? That might be the thing that makes you late. So me personally, I feel like I would put the restaurants post-security. The only time I like when there's restaurants pre-security is if I'm, like, accompanying someone to the airport. And then I'm like, I can't believe I'm driving their ass to the airport. And then after I park, I'm like, oh, burrito. I haven't seen an enemy in, like, 15 minutes, by the way. But, so I think that's a good sign. No enemies have appeared in forever. I guess I saw someone in chat say it sucks if you work there, because then you have to go through security every day. I guess that makes sense. If you just... Now, it makes me feel a little bit differently about the people that I see working the Church's Chicken past the U.S. security terminal in the Vancouver International Airport. No wonder they look grumpy every day. Your ass is working at the airport, Church's Chicken, and you got to go through TSA just like me? I mean, my ass is grumpy there, and I'm going on vacation. You're there earning a living. Like, I should have some more sympathy. I think we should make this build worse so we can actually, like, see some opponents at some point. Or just zoom out. Here you go. There you go. Is this better? POV, you are my ophthalmologist. And you just showed me the picture of the farmhouse at the end of the long driveway. And you're telling me not to blink when you know there's a 100% chance my ass is gonna blink. You knew as soon as I walked in, you're like, this motherfucker's a blinker. It's always a hot air balloon for me. So upsetting. You could walk, you could be like 6'4", 210 pounds, 4% body fat. As soon as they put that hot air balloon up there, and the tech is like, I asked you not to blink, and you're like, I know. Sorry. What are you supposed to do when your dentist tells you to close your mouth on the suction hose? You always have to close it, but I try to, the trick is to close it past the aperture so that the part that actually sucks isn't clogged and it can actually get the saliva out of the back of your mouth. If you close your lips around it and make like a perfect seal, then, especially because like, you never realize how much you swallow until you go to the dentist, right? Like, I never thought that I was, like, a big-time, like, spit swallower until, like, all of a sudden your dentist is, like, you're begging for the suction, you know? You feel like you're, like, drowning back. You're getting waterboarded by Donald Rumsfeld himself. And then the worst part of it all, when he finally says, okay, bite down, and then you bite down, but your tongue gets stuck on the suction, so it doesn't actually suck any spit out, and then you only get like a half a second before he's like getting back in there with like, and you're like, I'm still drowning. 123 months, Ryab. Witness me. Thank you, Josh. Do you have a Founder's Badge? Did I ever turn on Founder's Badge? You would have to have a Founder's Badge, I'd imagine. And I know you're probably going to say, what the hell is a Founder's Badge? If you're like one of the first 10 subscribers, You're supposed to get a little badge next to your name that says first. I have a founder's badge for Dan. That's crazy. You're a good friend. They're on! Let's go! I guess you just weren't one of the first 10, Josh. It's gotta sting. They should put a badge next to people that are like recently opted not to subscribe. Like, or they opted to unsubscribe. That way it's like how whenever you try to like cancel a service, you have to hop on a phone call with somebody. You can't just be like, oh, I don't want this anymore. You have to, hey, this is Samantha. I'm the vice president of annoying you at Netflix. I would just like to know, is there a reason you're canceling our service? And you got to be like, oh, I just don't feel. You can't say the truth, which is like you haven't made a good show in like 8 years. Hey, how did you discover our service? Hey, did you find it? Sorry. I get it. You got to do what you got to do, okay? I will say one thing, though. And apologies for getting on a soapbox. And I recognize if you work in marketing for like a nonprofit, this probably makes your job harder. And it sucks to hear. My ass is not doing any surveys unless I'm getting paid minimum $10 gift card. I'm sorry. That's the price. I'm certainly not doing it for free, and I'm probably not doing it for $5. If you say there's I understand if we paid everybody a $10 gift card, then our company would go out of business. Then maybe you should think about that before you send out an email blast that's like, how can we make our business better? That's your job. My ass, listen, I had a great experience, genuinely a great experience with my, when we had a flat tire. I called my insurance company. They said, we'll send someone out there in an hour and a half. The person arrived in like 15 minutes, changed my tire. Easy. I made sure to give that person some sauce on email. I was like, thank you, Jennifer. You saved us today. But then I got an email that was like, help us make our business better. And it was like a 19-question survey. And I said, no. Give me my next month free. Sorry. I'll fill this in. You can interview me. You can take 10 minutes of my time if you give me the next month of insurance for free. Popeyes sometimes gives out surveys that you get a free 2-piece chicken for doing. You doing that survey? I do that survey any day of the week. I might do that survey even though there's no Popeyes nearby. I don't even like Popeyes the one time I had it, but I would still do it and probably let the coupon expire on my fridge or something like that. What about a free bag of chips for the Subway purchase? Listen, $10 gift card or free bag of chips. That's my price. If I'm at the Subway and they're like, if you answer this 3-question survey, we'll upgrade you to a combo for free. Yeah, I would do it. 40 questions, no shot. Listen, at least they're not phoning. Anybody else out here getting phoned 3 times a week by the fucking David Suzuki Foundation? I get that it's a charity, don't get me wrong. But the audacity of an organization you've never interacted with to harvest your phone number from like probably the old Navy customer database where you put your phone number in because they wouldn't let you buy a $9 pair of jeans without it. I've never interacted with the David Suzuki Foundation in my entire life. They have the audacity to cold call you and say, could you please give us some money? I don't know you. Our first interaction that we're ever going to have is you asking me for money on the phone? On the phone? As a millennial? It's insanity. What's a cold call? Cold call is like when you don't have any rapport with the person. So your ass is just calling them up like prospectively and going like, hey, are you interested in this thing? It implies the existence of a warm call. Yeah, a warm call is like, you know, when you bought a car from Dave's car dealership and 7 years later he goes, hey, you finally made your last payment. Are you interested in purchasing another car? Notice, sometimes a warm call is annoying as fuck too. Hey, you just finished paying off your car. Are you interested in buying a new car? No, bozo. We're at like the halfway point. We're driving for free now. It's like saying you just paid off your mortgage. Do you want to buy another house? Are you crazy? Now this is what it was all about. What's better, okay? This is an honest question. My parents always told me, I'm not trying to, you know, their frame of reference is what it is. But that doesn't mean that everything that they told me is 100% accurate. You know, things you'll learn over time. My parents always told me you're stupid if you lease a car. Because if you lease a car, you don't own anything. And if you buy a car, at the end of your payments, you own a car. Now that makes sense when you're 8, but then also when you get older and you start looking at cars, you're like, holy shit, a lease is so cheap versus a car payment. I'm not that interested in ever, like, you know, re-upping my car like once every 3 years or something like that. I guess it's always nice to be able to drive like a newer car. It doesn't appeal to me all that much, but it seems like there might be some situations where like a lease is relevant. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a fully paid off car. They're probably like balanced, right? Now that I think about it. Sounds like 2 skeletons doing it. You know, I want to be mad, but I'm not. This might sound crazy, or maybe I've got it all figured out. Any smart car people in chat? If you're rich and you like cars, it seems like leasing is a no-brainer. You never own a car unless you want to, but you get to drive like a new car and possibly a different car every few years. That sounds sensible. I have no interest in cars. In fact, I would consider getting a car that is different from the car that I already have kind of a punishment at first. Because I would be like, where's the radio button? I'd be trying to switch the radio from like Meghan Trainor station to the classic rock station, and I'd be like, I'm dead. That's me driving over the bollards on the seawall. 90 people are filming me at the same time on TikTok Live. Look at this idiot. Look at this idiot. We have to. I drive into the ocean. Everybody's filming me. Nobody's helping me. Help me, help me. All you have to do is open the door. It's keyless entry. Oh, man. It's fucked up that the world is exactly like that. TikTok voice. This bald mother fluffer went straight into the river. This shit looked like me on the teacup ride at Disney. You whipping around? The teacup ride has a little steering wheel in the center where you can you can turn it to one side and make yourself spin faster or slower. I leave it up to the other person in the car because I don't mind the spins, but they do make me a little nauseous from time to time. I'm the guy fighting the stranger's 8-year-old to get them to slow down. Andre the Giant. Whoa, 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 whoa! Guys, where are the enemies? Whoa, dude, this is it. This is the one that's supposed to kill you dead. They are getting closer. Not really. Nah, not really. 9,002 sinners punished. $900? That's not even a new record for us? How do you get a higher score? I took no damage, man! How could you get a higher score than perfect? Endless mode. That's what I get for not being an endless Andy. Why is Amber Heard cosplaying Goth Mercy punishing sinners? Listen, don't get me started, okay? I can't handle the Elon discourse this week, okay? It's getting too, but it keeps ramping up. I have no choice. It has to be done. I'm loving life right now. If I can make the librarian happy, that's the most important thing. I know they were real down in the dumps with that one week where we played like 11 hours of Armored Core 6. So it's the least I could do. /marker sap. Trust me, it wasn't my intention to put sap on the docket today, okay? Because I've been getting my ass beat by Bonerfart669 and Gandalf the Gay in this weekly. I just need to ride it out. Sorry, I see that you can't see. Those were names, by the way, of other gamers. I wasn't just coming up with that off the top of the dome piece. Hey, NL, would you ever consider Rick Rubin's haircut? Is Rick Rubin the, he's the record producer. Doesn't he just have, like, really long hair? Is that the joke? I thought it would be... Who's that guy? Is it Al Davis, the owner of the Raiders, who has the worst haircut of all time? Yes, he has like a bowl cut or something. Mark Davis. Great news for those who have been following me for an update to what's happening in my live. The Davis texted me the frick back. Wait, we have a clone. Somebody, your old head Dawes. What is going on in this lobby? Somebody quit already. What do I type into YouTube to see this guy? Twitter.com. Search Brian Alvarez. Pretty much, if you look at the mathematical calculation, pretty much every time the mathematical is going to calculate. What does he say? I can't believe I'm just going straight back to it. I'm washed, man. It must be this video right here. It's the most recent tab from Twitter. Scrolling end.
I've been on an elegant walk through the town where my internship is taking place. So now back to my hotel where they are keeping me nice, steady, calm, good sleep, and a buffet for dinner.
A buffet for dinner.
I have been trying to put in more work, more hours to prove to them I can work at this company full time after the internship is up. But they say no promises. I say, I promise you this. If you check out my mathematical calculation at any given time, you're gonna find the mathematic is correct at all times. So that's just how I put in my hard work. Whatever.
As they say.
As they say.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, man. Oh, sorry. I got washed as well. I'm glad I wasn't watching that. Are they Swedish? They're just a guy. He's an EFL guy? He's not an EFL guy. He's just a guy. The joke is not that he sounds like he has an accent. The joke is he sounds funny. He was in Megan? Who did he play in Megan? Did he play the researcher who says you better not boot up Megan, and then they boot up Megan anyway? I remember that guy. We're on lethal. This is a damn nightmare. Use the on-set body double. I was losing it. Kate showed me a video of Universal Studios Halloween event. I guess I'm not buying this, lad. And they had a Megan dance party. Like a bunch of girls dressed as Megan with the same makeup and you know, outfit as Megan got up and did like a little coordinated dance sponsored by the Universal Corporation. I watched the whole thing. It was like 2.5 minutes long. And I was like, this is why Disney stays winning, man. Like, I like the rides at Universal Studios, but there's no shot you're going to catch me being part of a crowd waiting like 45 minutes. They're like, oh, wait, the show's about to start. And then it's like a little synchronized dance of Megan from the movie Megan. Like, you know, you wait around 15 minutes at Disney California Adventure, a robot Spider-Man flies 200 feet through the fucking air. And there's a realistic chance that the dude just fucking bricks it. I'm dead. That's bad for the elo right there, for sure. It's horrendous. I'm watching it right now. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't appreciate the medium of dance. Like, is it one of those... I don't understand if it's supposed to be artistic or if it's supposed to be... competent, you know, am I appreciating it? When you look at a bridge, do you say, like, thank God this bridge is not collapsing, or do you say, look at this beautiful bridge? Like, that's what I don't understand about dance. Because they were, like, moving in time with the music, and they were all dressed the same. But, like, maybe Pink really had it figured out, because I just found myself saying, so what? FYI, there are several 1700 ELO players trying to snipe you. Are you on the Discord right now? Is there a little back channel on the Super Auto Pets Discord? Team Wood Games, do you have admin powers on the Discord? Can you cross-reference the account names from the Discord that are trying to ruin my competitive environment and IP ban them from Super Auto Pets, please? They joined my lobby and then left as soon as your lobby popped. The mathematical calculation, pretty much every time you're gonna find out it's right every time. Pro soccer players start at 3. When are you going to start Luna on SAP? You know, you joke, but there's a nugget of truth in that. The first, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're laying a foundation in the first 3 years, but I do feel like the third birthday is kind of like where shit gets real. Like, this ain't daycare anymore, brother. Like, we're getting into some... You can actually start to take, like, an after-school activity. You could start to develop a hobby or something like that. You could start... You know, everything at Vancouver community centers, you try to sign up for it when your kid is like 2 years, 11 months old. They're like, go back to story time at the library, bozo. At 3 years, they're like, guess what? Introductory Mandarin Chinese. Why is the mic so damn noisy? I got so sweaty and dizzy from playing F-Zero 99. I got my fan at double the speed it's normally at. And I got it much closer, and it's pointed directly at the microphone. You know, I could, but if in order to hit me, it kind of has to hit the microphone, just due to the way the mechanics of my office work. Old ass? No, you can't. Listen, if I had to deal with you guys talking about your misophonia all the time, you gotta have some empathy for the fact that random stuff makes me motion sick, including 2D racing games. Do you get sick driving downtown? I don't get motion sick driving. I do get motion sick as a passenger now and then. Not when I was a kid, it was horrible. I think part of it is getting older, and part of it is that like every new car has a better interior than cars when I was a kid. Nothing triggers my motion sickness like getting into a car that has like a cloth interior and has been out in the sun on like a hot day. It just smells like nausea as soon as you open the door. It's like something about the air being so cooked. You can still get motion sickness in a car with leather seats, but it's like, for some reason, it's not as bad. As a kid, I'd be reading no problem. Now I can't even glance at my phone. See, now that's like a sad story. Because my experience is that it's gone in reverse. If I read in the car as an adult, I would definitely throw up. That's not even like up for discussion. But as a kid, even without reading, my ass was in trouble. I definitely have many stories of throwing up. Maybe it was just because my grandpa was a crazy driver. I don't know. As an adult now, I'm like, I get motion sickness really easily from playing video games. So maybe I shouldn't blame my grandpa for that. Was he? Not really. Although every once in a while, we'd be driving on like a secluded road and he would just slam on the brakes at full speed. And we would go like, what's that for? And he was like, I was just testing to see if they worked. That classic, you think you're going to die for a split second and like almost smash your head on the dashboard. Just a little tomfoolery. So it is the $20 grandpa? What the hell is it? I don't even know my own family lore, librarian. What the hell is the $20 grandpa? The toilet throwing? The toilet throwing. I mean, I lived it, so I'm sure I'm going to know it once I figure out what you're talking about. Oh, the guy who tipped the toilet. Yeah. That's a secondhand story from my mom. He wasn't the smartest guy. You pronounce it vase or vase? Listen. We already talked about flowers a lot. I don't want to go back down that road. Because I was out here talking about how we have to... I reckon that every time I go into a flower shop, it's only 28-year-old Instagram influencers that are in there. Everybody else is over the age of 70, okay? You're going to rinse me. This is the strongest looking team I've ever seen in my life. Evil Kane be like, I'm going to beat you in Super Auto Pets, okay? Top half, though, technically. Oh. Okay, we have to go to Arena, because we don't have time for another Versus. I was like, we gotta modernize the flower industry so that millennials like myself can keep it alive once, you know, the greatest generation is no longer actively purchasing flowers. Everyone was like, no, I'm Dr. Pangloss from Candide. This is the best thing that things could possibly be. You know what you are? You're like one of those dumb motherfuckers who was like born in the year 1700. And you're like, thank God I was born in the year 1700. Can you imagine how much it would have sucked to have been born in like the year 1231? Oh, I'm so glad we're in the 1700s, bro. The printing press, rich fabrics, understanding that, like, bro, Galileo is like, the Earth's not the center of the universe. Stop fucking killing me. Now in the 1700s, we're all so smart. We're also, you don't realize how dumb you are, okay? The best time to be born was 1988. Everybody knows that. Thank God I wasn't born in the 1700s. What's crazy is, like, they're gonna be right one of these days. Imagine being a streamer in the 1700s. So true. That would go crazy. Streamers in the 1700s be like, hear ye, hear ye. You know, I was going to tweet yesterday. Kate was watching Titanic. I don't know how the tweet was going to go, but it was going to be something along the lines of, there's a severe lack of motherfuckers saying hear, hear when you drop some wisdom at dinner these days. I'm still working out the verbiage in my life. I think there's a joke in there, but there's also some truth. You're never at dinner with someone and they say like a little nugget of wisdom and then you're like, here, here, well said, you know? People are always just like, you know, whatever, you know, fucking, you get it. I shouldn't have cooked it that long. That's okay. Immediately valuable. We are getting the 10 on this one. Tempting, but it's written in stone. The 10 piece is already built. Here, here. Don't shut the fuck up. Here, here. You're here, here, an ass. Start saying, well said, brother. MFers really be out here saying like, huzzah. Well met. Can you share your travel bucket list? I don't really have a travel bucket list. At some point, I would like to visit the part of Europe that is actually on Europe, though. Especially if I keep talking shit. What do you mean by that? I've been to Europe. I've been to Iceland. I've been to Sweden. I've been to the Frankfurt airport. I've never been to quote-unquote... I've been to the UK, yeah. I've never been to quote-unquote continental Europe to see what the breakfasts are like, what all the fuss is about. Sweden is in Europe? I understand that people are saying Sweden is continental Europe. Not in my world. You got to take a bridge to get there. That's not continental Europe. I mean, oh, UK is continental Europe. You just go to France and then you take the channel. That's different. That bridge is underwater. Oh, I've never examined the reasons that I think the things I think before. You could drive there from Finland? Yeah, but to get to Finland, you'd have to fucking go to Russia, which is part of Asia. In some contexts. How about this context? Okay, maybe not in this context, now that I think about it, but in some contexts. Actually, you know, I like overwriting the garlic here. You can get to Finland from Norway? Yeah, but how do you get to Norway without driving over a bridge? Okay, Gustavo, congratulations. Congratulations, you got 2 monkeys and a level 3 fucking jellyfish already. That's 1 in a million. Taking a boat? Then that shit is not... If you take a boat, it's not continental as far as I'm concerned, okay? Listen, you know what? I've decided, you're smarmy asses, I don't actually want to go to continental Europe, okay? You guys enjoy yourselves. Enjoy yours. It seems like you're having a great time over there. People from Frankfurt be like, come visit Germany. People from Frankfurt, when people from Munich are in Frankfurt, what are you doing here? You see how ridiculous it is? How the hell did you know that? We'll just call that a lucky guess. What's included in continental Canada? Everything but Prince Edward Island. But then again, I think if I'm being honest, which I'm not, I'm like putting on airs for a laugh. But if I were being honest, what about Newfoundland? Oh yeah, right. Vancouver Island. Listen. We got cactus clubs over here as well, okay? You can go to a brown social house in Vancouver. No disrespect, Victoria. Oh, we have Island Farms Dairy. You could get a tour where they give you a sample of the ice cream fresh. Okay, congrats for you. Congrats for you. You got a lovely bit of ambiance in the Christmas season as well. Nova Scotia? Now listen, you've made a mistake. Everybody else was wrong, or was right and I was wrong. But this time you fucked up because you can definitely drive to Nova Scotia bridgeless. That being said, well, here's the thing, is like I'm getting roasted for saying like I've never been to continental Europe and you guys are like Sweden is continental. Meanwhile, I see you guys talking on my ass. You'll be like, I've been to Canada. Oh, really? Where? And they're like, oh, I went to Aurelia for a conference. And I'm like, fuck you. It's not the same thing. Don't compare Montreal with Toronto, with Aurelia, with Vancouver, with, you know, like this is why always Aurelia. Aurelia lives rent-free in my head because where I'm from, there is something you, before satellite navigation was common, you had to remember when you got on the highway whether your destination was to the east of you or to the west of you. How dare you? And I always remembered that it's to the, if I'm going to the east, it's east to Aurelia. I don't know if this made any sense at all. But here's the thing. I think you've been to Canada if you've been to 2 of the 3 major Canadian cities. And you could sacrifice 1 major Canadian city to instead add... We're not going to 10. A famous Canadian outdoor landmark. If you've been to Toronto and Banff, I allow it. Toronto, Vancouver, I allow it. Vancouver, Montreal, I allow it. If you've been Montreal, Whistler, sure, I'll allow it. Now, if you've been to Toronto, Halifax, I'm going to say I allow it. If you've been to Toronto, Peterborough, you haven't been to Canada. Sorry, you've been to Ontario. I would sell a pug to fit a better unit. It's not a monkey, though. I would sell a pug and a monkey to get the all-time unit, the best that's ever done it. This is an insane decision, but imagine if it works out. Why the hell would you go to Peterborough? Bro, for the Havelock Country Jamboree? Hello? We're so back. Did I stutter? This is not gonna do it, man. Nurse Shark? Nurse Shark? Oh, no. Just keeps getting worse. They got their own Niala. Okay, I understand that. You got me. You got me. We got to 9. That you rolled past one? No! Return to menu. All right. Well, slash marker. Right on time, though. Let me see if my wife... I don't know if she's going to stream today. She's not feeling too well. Let me see. Hey, great news. Bus Stop Simulator 21, next stop from your Steam wish list, is now on sale. You ever realize 80% of the emails you get come between 6 a.m. and 6:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time? I guess that's like, you know, people that work on the Eastern Standard Time Zone set their media blast to go out at like 9 a.m., like as soon as the workday starts. Like, let me see here. 6:01 a.m. PR. Suits you've had your eye on, now 15% off from Indochino. 20% off t-shirts today. Your exclusive discount code from GOG.com. PR, this is taking us up to 7:01 a.m. PR, solicitation to purchase business cards. PR, Audible trying to get me canceled. If you're enjoying the rise and fall of the Third Reich, okay, listen. Me listening to the audiobook of Norman Cantor's The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, during the rise, shaking my head to let everybody around me know I don't agree with what's happening. During the fall, nodding solemnly to say, give him one for me, Dwight Eisenhower. Give him one for me, Bernard Montgomery. Come on. Guy who doesn't know how World War II went down. Sorry, I can't go out tonight. I gotta finish this book. Yes! Yes! We got him! It's like that Norm Macdonald joke. What does he say? It's like the... I don't know if you've heard about this Hitler guy. You know what the worst thing is the hypocrisy. Hypocrisy was the Bill Cosby joke. I think that they're both bad men, in my opinion. So brave. Drake. All right, I'm sending you over to my wife's stream. Enjoy yourselves. I'll be back. It's Friday already? Holy cow. See you tomorrow. Later.
Oh yeah, I was talking about Zoom with my Japanese teacher. So I told my Japanese teacher, like, can we not use Zoom? Because I know I'm already frigged, but I bet they don't know everything about me. So if we can sell less of my personal information, the better. She said, yeah, but we don't really talk about anything serious. We always only talk in Japanese. Like, I don't know, but Japanese people, I mean, the Chinese people, I bet they got people wired up with the people who's fluent Japanese. I bet they understand everything. And she's like, yeah, but we never talk about anything like politics or, you know, secret codes or whatever. It's true. And then 20 minutes later, she then talking about politics happening, and I was sweating bullets. I did not start the conversation of this topic, but she started it. I'm not involved. I'm innocent. I did not reply to any of it. Please take my name out. I'm so frigged. I literally, the beginning of the Japanese lesson session, I said, Chinese people, Chinese government listening to Zoom conversation, and it's frigged up. I don't like using Zoom. 20 minutes later, she goes, hey, Chinese people, or the Chinese government is making fake news, making Japanese people look bad. And I was like, oh my god, what the heck? Why? Why would you do this to me? Stop. I told her we can use Discord, and she said she doesn't know how to use Discord. And I said it's easier than Zoom, and she's like, nah. So Discord is gamers? Non-gamers use Discord. I hated back in the, what was it, like even 10 years ago? Not even 10 years ago, I don't know, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I hated it that if I were to join an event, some kind of event, you know, like charity event or whatever, just group events, they had their own thing. They're like, oh, we use the team, was it Team Voice? Something? I honestly forgot. TeamSpeak. Yeah, I never heard about that until then. I bet I used Ventrilo. I actually installed 10 different softwares. Because they could not agree on the software. I'm like, oh. And then they always laughed. Back in those days, we used Skype. And then if you were to use Skype, they laughed at your ass. Like, oh, you use Skype, oh my gosh. Get fucked because you're gonna get hacked. I remember Skype got hacked so easily that I put my age as 184 or something. And then my birthday all scrambled. Like, it's not even real. Like, my birthday was not real. My birth year was not not correct. And then the country, I didn't even put Canada. I put, like, I don't know, like Spain. I said I was 183-year-old from Spain. Something like that. And then sometimes on the Skype, I would get happy birthday messages from my online friends. And I said, what the hell? It's middle of March. It's not my birthday. And they said, oh, the Skype told me that it's your birthday today. I'm like, no, it's fake. I didn't put any true information on Skype because it just gets hacked all the time. And they're like, happy birthday, gay. Oh, no, it was your birthday today. Happy birthday. Oh, it's not my birthday. I think Ryan put himself, I forgot, Ryan was like 83 or something. And I thought it would be funny if I was like over 100. His birthday was also fake. I think he was like, it was from Africa or something. Ryan told me to, because before I put my actual name, actual birth date, and birth year, and Ryan was like, no, you cannot do that on Skype. You're gonna get hacked in no time. I said, oh, okay. You gotta scramble it. I'm like, oh, okay. So I just scrambled it. And so did Ryan. But I think I just used Skype and then moved on to Discord. There was no something in between. I just like, wow, whatever. Everything else, what was it? TeamSpeak was so... I felt like I was a programmer when I was using TeamSpeak. I had to launch my own server and join the server. It felt very old school. But I remember I used MSN, and then Ryan called me old ass. He said, oh my god. Well, I said, when we first met, I said, you know, talking on a Twitter DM is kind of, you know, not efficient. So what's your MSN ID? And he's like, oh man, I don't want to tell you. And I said, why? I was like, my MSN ID is so cursed. And it was, what was it, like, Green Days? I think it was Green Days? Green Days fan? Or for something like that. It was Green Days something. I'm like, oh, the band, the Green Days. I know them. And then we used MSN. And then after a while, he called me old ass and told me to use Skype. But MSN was in a way better because when someone logged in, I mean, you know, the cool kids always made yourself offline. Only the lame kids did not change, always appear offline. You know what I'm saying? But after school, when you log into when you open up your computer, you automatically log into MSN. And if you had MSN open or whatever, you goes like, oh, you know, like this person just logged in, and you get a notification and all that. Those are the good days. And you go, hey, you logged in. Do you want to, like, I'm bored. Are you bored? Do you want to play a game of this? And you go, the friend responds, and you go like, yeah, sure. And like, that was so fun. You know what I mean? That was so fun. And it was almost an activity. After you go home from school, you want to see who's online in MSN. And then the cool kids never was online, right? Cool kids always offline. Cause they choose who to talk. You don't get to talk to them.
My wife's got she's got a yellow moon on Discord. What am I supposed to do? I saw it and then I saw it say, yellow moon means she's away. None of you stand so tall. Yellow moon means no Discord call. It's a yellow moon. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yellow, yellow, yellow moon.